Next up, we got ICP. Okay, looking for this short position. You can see came up, rejected this area perfectly. Could have probably entered there if I had something set up, but I didn't. So that would have been good. Yeah, you can see it like it's ranging pretty good between these two areas, but I do think eventually it's going to break to this downside. It is super bearish. It's way below this moving average, so be more likely to break this area than break below this area than break above this one. So yesterday's huge rejection into this area, complete pullback all the way back down. You can see, boom, as soon as it hit this area, big bearish engulfing candle, and now making its way down. So there is an area on this 4 hour that we can look at. It's right here. So see if price breaks this area, then it'll probably head lower. You can see right now it's been making somewhat higher lows, so as you can see it's testing it right now, so looking for that to break. And then I mean, price is still way below this 4 hour moving average, which is great. It actually came up and retested it almost perfect, so tested it here too, and here. So this 4 hour moving average seems to really hold ICP, which is good. You know, but again, it is ranging and it is forming kind of a bit of a almost like a triangle pattern here. So it might break through this, and there's tons of names for this, but it might break through on either side. You can just see it getting price getting squeezed both ways. So it might break up, might break down, but when it breaks, it'll probably break significantly, which is usually what happens. But as far as right now, I mean, it's way below this moving average, so I'd be looking for the shorts. I just have to, you got to go by the technical aspects. So the short position would be the ideal position. I mean, here came up nice, could have cut in here at 412, but yeah, looking for this to break. I think it really just has to break this zone. Doesn't even have to break this one. I think if it breaks this one, obviously, then I think it's very likely to break this one, this lower one. But and what could happen is price could just push this further and further, and then break it. So you can see that happening. As far as entering a short position, yeah, this 1 hour is a little wonky. Price is still below this 1 hour moving average though, so you can tell there's a lot of bearish momentum on it. But yeah, I think as far as an entry, I think this 412 area is still significant. I think that's the only one. So if price does come back up to 412, I think you're good to short it. But until then, I don't see much that would be worth the risk. So yeah, your 412 area here. Anything in between there is not worth it. I mean, there is a bit of a zone here, but you can see price rejected, broke through it, then kind of came down. It's kind of like right here, and then broke through it, almost retested again. Yeah, I mean, it's just that zone's kind of ugly and not really relevant as much, not as relevant as I would want it to be to take a position. So really 412 is your kind of the only one you have right now, and you can see it clearly worked really well before. So I would stick to 412 if I was to short this, and then yeah, target this range. This might be a little much, definitely for the month, because price has been pretty flat lately. When it was moving really good, this would have been the range down to 3.6, but it's kind of died off significantly. So maybe target something like this, but then your risk to reward's not that great. So ideally, you're looking for a short position. If price came up to 412, you're good to short it. But then if price breaks this area here, you would be good to short. And that's probably what I would be more likely to do, just because you're catching it with the momentum. And like I said, once it breaks that zone, and because right now price is getting squeezed all the way, you know, down and up. So if price breaks this lower squeeze here, you know, then it'll probably take off, and you might get more range out of it. So like looking at this, once price breaks this area and then ideally this one, there's not much in between these two areas and this one, so it'll probably come down pretty well after that. That might be a next month type of thing too, but once that happens, then you're good to go. So it might be worth just catching this trade as it breaks this zone instead of, I mean, if it comes up to 412, great, you can see it heavily rejects it. And but another thing I can see right now is that what's happened here is this was your upper liquidity zone, and now it's forming a new one. So this is your new liquidity zone, and it's far below this one. So I do think that this is going to break soon, break low. So that's what I'd be waiting for. Let price break this, let it reject a little bit, and then, you know, look for a nice short position. Catch that move on the way down versus, you know, price coming up and retesting these areas. You'll get a better risk to reward because you can literally place something like this. You can place a really tight stop because as price breaks this zone, you're catching it on the way down. And then, like I said, because there's so much, because price is getting squeezed, once it breaks here, there's a chance that it's a big drop, and then you'll get, you know, way past this zone and you'll be good. You can have a tight stop, and then you can just move it to break even relatively quick as well, and then you can just ride this trade out, ideally all the way to 3.6 if it goes that far, and depending on momentum and a bunch of other factors. But, and again, that might be a next month play. We got a couple weeks left of this month, but it seems pretty slow and hesitant, so we'll see how it plays out. But I'm going to watch this. I'll keep you guys updated, check back in a few days. And ICP is pretty popular, so I do get a lot of comments on this one, so I will keep you guys updated with this.